एक दिन भी ऐसा न गया मैंने तुझे याद ना किया हो। हाँ, एक दिन भी ऐसा न गया मैंने तुझे याद ना किया हो। एक पल भी ऐसा न रहा तेरा दर्द ना तक होंगे हम, तोड़ेंगे ना उल्फत की कसम, तोड़ेंगे ना हम उल्फत की कसम।
आएगी हर पल तुझे मेरी याद, आएगी हर पल तुझे मेरी याद। हाँ इस मुलाकात के बाद, हाँ इस मुलाकात के बाद
मिलने को दिल भी करेगा फरियाद, मिलने को दिल भी करेगा फरियाद। हाँ इस मुलाकात के बाद, हाँ इस मुलाकात के बाद
आएगी हर पल तुझे मेरी याद,
आएगी हर पल तुझे मेरी याद।
मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। तुम मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। मैं तेरा दीवाना पीछे पीछे तेरे घर तक आऊंगा, तुझे अपना बनाऊंगा। तुम मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। देखते ही तुझे कह उठा दिल, मिल गई है मुझे मेरी मंजिल।
मेरी आँखों में बोलो तो क्या है,
सच कहूँ इनमें मेरा चेहरा है। तुझे सांसों में बसाऊंगा, तुम मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। तुम मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। जितना रोकेगा हमको जमाना, प्यार उतना ही गहरा होगा।
तू है दीवाना खुद से बेगाना, थोड़ा पागल है थोड़ा अनजाना। मेरी निंदिया तुम चुराओगे, कल कॉलेज बंद हो जाएगा, तुम अपने घर को जाओगे। कल कॉलेज बंद हो जाएगा, तुम अपने घर को जाओगे।
पल बिन कटे ना तुम्हारे, कब दिन होगा कब रात होगी। मम्मी डैडी को मैं मनाऊंगा, तेरे घर डोली लेके आऊंगा। तुझे दुल्हन मैं बनाऊंगा।
कल कॉलेज बंद हो जाएगा, तुम अपने घर को जाओगे।
मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। तुम मुझसे जुदा हो जाओगी, बोलो कैसे रह पाऊंगा। मैं तेरा दीवाना, पीछे पीछे तेरे घर तक आऊंगा, तुझे अपना बनाऊंगा।
कितना प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं आज हमें मालूम हुआ। कितना प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं आज हमें मालूम हुआ। कितना प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं आज हमें मालूम हुआ। जीत नहीं तुम पर मरते हैं आज हमें मालूम हुआ।
कितना प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं आज हमें मालूम हुआ। कितना प्यार तुम्हें करते हैं आज हमें मालूम
छुप के मिलने से, लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा। लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
हम लाख छुपाए प्यार मगर दुनिया को पता चल जाएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा। लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
हम लाख छुपाए प्यार मगर
प्यार हमारा रब जाने, ये प्यार हमारा रब जाने, जाने क्या रंग लाएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से, लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा। लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
हम लाख छुपाए प्यार मगर मस्त हवा महकी ये फिजा, आंखों में नशा सा छाता है। एक रंग खुशी का आता है, एक रंग खुशी का जाता है।
ये मीठा मीठा दर्द मुझे, ये मीठा मीठा दर्द मुझे दिन रात यूं ही तड़पाएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से, लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा। लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
हम लाख छुपाए प्यार मगर
इन बाहों के घेरे में आंखें बंद करके सो जाओ।
कल क्या होगा ये भूल के तुम मीठे सपनों में खो जाओ।
मैं रखवाला इस तन मन का, मैं रखवाला इस तन मन का, जो होगा देखा जाएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से, लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा। लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
हम लाख छुपाए प्यार मगर दुनिया को पता चल जाएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से
मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
लेकिन छुप छुप के मिलने से
मिलने का मजा तो आएगा।
मेरा मन क्यों तुम्हें चाहे, मेरा मन ना जाने जुड़ गया कैसे ये बंधन।
मेरा मन क्यों तुम्हें चाहे, मेरा मन ना जाने जुड़ गया कैसे ये बंधन।
कैसी ये दीवानगी, कैसा ये दीवानापन।
मेरा मन क्यों तुम्हें चाहे, मेरा मन।
मैं दीवानी बन गई, तुमने ऐसा क्या किया। मेरी नींदें लूट ली, चैन भी मेरा लिया।
मेरा दिल मेरी जान हो, तुम अभी नादान हो, इश्क से अनजान हो।
मेरा मन क्यों तुम्हें चाहे, मेरा मन।
प्यार कहते हैं किसे, होता है ये दर्द क्या। आज पहली बार ये मैंने जाना दिलरुबा।
जागी जागी सो गई, किस जहां में खो गई, क्या से क्या मैं हो गई।
मेरा मन क्यों तुम्हें चाहे, मेरा मन।
ना जाने जुड़ गया कैसे ये बंधन।
अर्ज है, कुछ मजनू बने, कुछ रांझा बने, कुछ रोमियो कुछ फरहाद हुए, इस रंग रूप की चाहत में जाने कितने बर्बाद हुए। वो देखो।
इश्क में इसके बावरी हूँ मैं, ये भला है तो क्या बुरी हूँ मैं। ये लड़का है फिर भी जाने क्यों शर्माए, जाने क्यों शर्माए, है शर्माए। इस दीवाने लड़के को कोई समझाए, प्यार मोहब्बत से ना जाने क्यों ये घबराए। जानती हूँ मैं ये तड़पता है, प्यार में इसका दिल धड़कता है।
जिसे देखो दिल की धुनी रमाता। अरे ये मंदिर नहीं है, शिवाला नहीं है, हसीनों से कह दो कहीं और जाएं। मेरा दिल है दिल, धर्मशाला नहीं है।
ये अकेले में आह भरता है, फिर भी कहने से ये क्यों डरता है। सच कुछ भी बोले ना, झूठी बात बनाए, झूठी बात बनाए, हाँ बनाए। इस दीवाने लड़के को कोई समझाए, प्यार मोहब्बत से ना जाने क्यों ये घबराए। दर्द दिल जाने ना, पास में जितना आओ उतनी दूर ये जाए, जाए, हाँ जाए। इस दीवाने लड़के को कोई समझाए, प्यार मोहब्बत से ना जाने क्यों ये घबराए।
फूल खिलते हैं, बहारों का समा होता है, ऐसे मौसम में ही तो प्यार जवां होता है। दिल की बातों को होठों से नहीं कहते हैं, ये फसाना तो निगाहों से बयां होता है।
जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां कि एक लड़का दुनिया में है जो दे सकता है तुम पे जान। जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां। जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां कि एक लड़का दुनिया में है जो दे सकता है तुम पे जान। जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां। जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां। तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां। एक लड़का दुनिया में है जो दे सकता है तुम पे जान। जाओ तुम चाहे जहां, याद करोगे वहां। चाहे जहां याद करोगे वहां कि एक लड़का दुनिया में है जो दे सकता है तुम पे जान।
एक लड़की दुनिया में है जो दे सकती है तुम पे जान।
जाओ तुम चाहे जहां,
जाओ तुम चाहे जहां,
याद करोगे वहां।
याद करोगे वहां।
जाओ तुम चाहे
जाओ
जहां,
तुम चाहे जहां,
याद करोगे वहां।
याद करोगे वहां।
बसंती मन मधुबन से ये संदेश लाई है, दो सांसों की दो रूहों की आज मिलन रुत आई है।
तुझे देखा, तुझे चाहा, तुझे प्यार किया, घड़ी घड़ी सिर्फ तेरा इंतजार किया। यहाँ जाऊं वहाँ जाऊं, तुझे देखूं तुझे पाऊं, बिना तेरे कहीं लागे नहीं मोरा जिया। मेहंदी बोले क्या बोले, लाली बोले क्या बोले, छल्ला बोले क्या बोले, बाली बोले क्या बोले, साथ सजन का छूटे ना। बिंदिया बोले क्या बोले, गजरा बोले क्या बोले, हो
मेरे इस मन के मंदिर में तेरा रूप सुहाना है, गंगा के जल से भी पावन मैंने तुझको माना है।
तेरे लिए दुआ मांगू सुबह शाम पिया, मेरे होठों पे है बस तेरा नाम पिया। तेरे ख्वाबों को सजाऊं, तुझे आँखों में छुपाऊं, नहीं आए मुझे दूजा कोई काम पिया। चूड़ी बोले क्या बोले, कंगना बोले क्या बोले, चुनरी बोले क्या बोले, सजना बोले क्या बोले, साथ सजन का छूटे ना। बिंदिया बोले क्या बोले, गजरा बोले क्या बोले, हाँ साथ सजन का छूटे ना, साथ सजन का छूटे ना, साथ सजन का छूटे ना। साथ सजन का छूटे ना।
दीवाना मैं तेरा दीवाना।
The new global economy has already begun, and most people haven't noticed. Have you noticed that the world's biggest economic stories no longer make sense? One day, we're told the global economy is slowing down. The next, stock markets are reaching new highs. Inflation eases in one country while rising in another. Companies announce mass layoffs. Yet they continue investing billions of dollars into artificial intelligence. At first glance, it feels contradictory. But what if these events aren't contradictions at all? What if they're signs that the global economy is quietly rewriting its own rules? For more than 3 decades, the world operated under a relatively simple economic model. Countries specialized in what they did best. Goods were manufactured where labor was cheapest. Energy flowed through stable global markets. Companies built supply chains that stretched across continents, all in pursuit of maximum efficiency. That system transformed the modern world. It lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. It fueled technological innovation, expanded international trade, and created one of the most prosperous periods in human history. But every economic era eventually reaches a turning point. Today, we're witnessing another one. Not because globalization has failed, but because the priorities of governments, businesses, and investors have fundamentally changed. Security is becoming just as important as efficiency. Resilience is becoming more valuable than the lowest possible cost. Technology is becoming a strategic asset rather than just a competitive advantage. And artificial intelligence is rapidly emerging as the foundation of an entirely new economic age. The International Monetary Fund recently revised its global growth forecast downward, warning that geopolitical tensions, energy market disruptions, and increasing trade fragmentation continue to slow economic momentum. At the same time, it noted that investment in artificial intelligence remains one of the strongest forces supporting future growth. That combination tells us something important. The global economy isn't collapsing, it's evolving. And understanding that evolution may become one of the most valuable skills of the coming decade. The slowdown that doesn't look like previous crises. Whenever economists warn about slower growth, most people immediately imagine a recession. They picture empty factories, collapsing banks, falling stock markets, and millions of lost jobs. History has conditioned us to associate economic slowdowns with sudden crises. But today's economy looks very different. Growth hasn't disappeared. It's simply becoming slower, more uneven, and increasingly difficult to predict. Instead of one catastrophic financial event, the world is experiencing several overlapping challenges. Inflation remains stubborn in many regions. Interest rates are still significantly higher than they were just a few years ago. Energy markets continue to react to geopolitical uncertainty. Global trade routes are being redesigned, and governments are spending enormous amounts of money rebuilding strategic industries at home. None of these challenges alone is large enough to derail the global economy. Together, however, they create an environment unlike anything businesses have experienced in decades. Companies are no longer optimizing for maximum efficiency alone. They are preparing for uncertainty. For years, many multinational corporations relied heavily on a single manufacturing hub to produce goods at the lowest possible cost. Today, it's becoming increasingly risky. A conflict, trade restriction, natural disaster, or shipping disruption can suddenly interrupt the movement of critical products across the world. As a result, businesses are diversifying production into multiple countries. Factories are moving closer to consumers. Governments are encouraging domestic manufacturing through subsidies and long-term industrial policies. Industries considered strategically important, such as semiconductors, batteries, pharmaceuticals, and defense manufacturing, are receiving unprecedented levels of public investment. This marks a major shift in economic thinking. For decades, efficiency was the ultimate objective. Now, resilience carries equal weight. The goal is no longer to build the cheapest supply chain. It's to build one capable of surviving unexpected shocks. The era of globalization isn't ending. It's entering a new phase one shaped not only by economics, but also by national security, technological competition, and geopolitical strategy. Artificial intelligence is becoming the world's new infrastructure. Every major leap in economic history has been driven by a transformative technology. The steam engine powered the Industrial Revolution. Electricity transformed factories and cities. The internet connected billions of people and fundamentally changed the way businesses operate. Today, artificial intelligence is beginning to play a similarly transformative role. Unlike previous technology booms, AI isn't limited to Silicon Valley or a handful of software companies. Its influence extends across healthcare, finance, manufacturing, education, logistics, agriculture, scientific research, transportation, and national defense. Governments around the world increasingly view AI not simply as another innovation, but as critical infrastructure. That perspective is reshaping investment priorities. Billions of dollars are flowing into semiconductor manufacturing. Massive data centers are being built at unprecedented speed. Power companies are expanding electricity generation to support energy-intensive AI systems. Telecommunications providers are upgrading fiber optic networks to handle rapidly increasing volumes of data. These projects represent much more than another technology trend. They are building the physical foundation of tomorrow's economy. The competition is no longer just about writing better software. It's about controlling the hardware that makes advanced AI possible. The countries capable of producing cutting-edge semiconductor chips, reliable electricity, high-speed communication networks, and world-class computing infrastructure may hold significant economic advantages for decades to come. This explains why governments are investing heavily in domestic chip manufacturing and advanced technology industries. Economic competition is increasingly becoming technological competition, and technological competition is increasingly becoming geopolitical competition. Artificial intelligence is no longer just another sector of the economy. It is becoming the foundation upon which almost every other industry will evolve. China isn't falling behind. It's changing the rules. For years, headlines around the world have painted a simple picture of China's economy. A slowing property market, weak consumer spending, rising debt, and slowing economic growth. These challenges are real, but focusing only on China's problems tells only half the story. At the same time that parts of its economy are slowing, China is transforming itself into one of the world's most advanced manufacturing powers. Walk into one of its modern factories today, and you'll find fewer assembly line workers than ever before. Instead, you'll see fleets of industrial robots, AI-powered quality control systems, automated warehouses, and highly sophisticated production lines capable of operating around the clock. China is no longer competing solely on cheap labor. It's competing on automation, scale, and technological integration. This shift is especially visible in industries such as electric vehicles, batteries, renewable energy equipment, drones, and advanced electronics. These sectors have become central to China's long-term economic strategy. Rather than abandoning exports, China is moving toward higher-value manufacturing. Instead of simply producing inexpensive consumer goods, it's increasingly producing complex technologies that require years of research, specialized engineering, and advanced manufacturing capabilities. This transformation doesn't eliminate China's economic challenges. An aging population, declining real estate activity, and slower domestic demand remain significant obstacles. China's future may look very different from its past, but different does not always mean weaker. The world is becoming multipolar. For much of the modern era, the global economy revolved around a relatively small group of major powers. The United States led financial markets. Europe remained a center of advanced industry and international trade. China became the world's manufacturing powerhouse. Together, these economies shaped the direction of global commerce for decades. But today, economic influence is spreading more widely than ever before. India continues to expand its manufacturing base while investing heavily in digital infrastructure. Southeast Asian nations are attracting companies seeking alternatives for production and exports. The Middle East is using energy revenues to diversify into finance, tourism, artificial intelligence, and advanced technology. Across Africa, rapid population growth and increasing digital connectivity are creating entirely new consumer markets. This doesn't mean traditional economic powers are fading away. Instead, it means more countries are becoming important contributors to global growth. Success increasingly depends on flexibility rather than simply size. The global economy is no longer moving in one direction. It is evolving in many directions at the same time. A new economic era has already begun. Economic history rarely changes in a single moment. It changes gradually. One investment at a time, one technological breakthrough at a time, one new factory, one new trade agreement, one new piece of infrastructure. Looking back, historians often identify a specific year when everything changed. But people living through those moments rarely realize it at the time. Today's economy feels uncertain because we are living through one of those transitions. The future will not belong to the country that simply produces the most goods, nor will it belong solely to the country with the largest economy. It will belong to those who adapt the fastest, those who invest in innovation, those who build resilient systems, and those who recognize that change is not something to fear, but something to prepare for. The global economy isn't ending. It's entering a new chapter. The question isn't whether the new global economy is coming. The question is whether we're prepared for the world it's creating. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Lightspan to get the latest updates. The world economy has just received a major warning. A warning that could affect jobs, prices, investments, and economic growth across nearly every country on Earth. For years, the global economy has been navigating one crisis after another. First came the pandemic. Then inflation surged to levels not seen in decades. Central banks raised interest rates. Supply chains struggled to recover. And just when many believed the worst was finally over, a new set of challenges emerged. The World Bank has now lowered its forecast for global economic growth. Its latest projections suggest the world economy is slowing once again. And if current geopolitical and energy-related risks continue to escalate, growth could weaken even further. At first glance, economic forecasts may seem like something that only concerns investors and policymakers. But when growth slows, everyone feels the impact. Businesses invest less. Hiring slows. Governments face financial pressure. And households often end up paying more for everyday necessities. So why is the World Bank suddenly sounding the alarm? What's driving this slowdown? And could this become one of the defining economic stories of the decade? Let's find out. The warning. Economic growth is often described as the engine of prosperity. When economies grow, businesses expand, workers find new opportunities, innovation accelerates, and governments gain resources to invest in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. But growth doesn't continue forever. It moves in cycles. And according to the latest projections, the global economy appears to be entering a slower phase. The World Bank now expects global growth to slow significantly compared to previous years. More concerningly, forecasts have been reduced for a large portion of the world's economies. This is not simply a problem affecting one country. It's a warning about the direction of the global economy as a whole. The concern isn't just slower growth. It's the growing number of risks that could make the slowdown much worse. And one of those risks stands above all others. Energy. Why energy matters. Energy is the foundation of modern civilization. Without it, economies simply stop functioning. Factories rely on electricity and fuel. Cargo ships depend on energy to move goods across oceans. Trucks deliver products to stores. Airplanes connect global markets. And farmers rely on energy throughout the production process. Almost everything people buy has an energy cost embedded somewhere in its journey. That means when energy prices rise, the impact spreads throughout the economy. Transportation becomes more expensive. Manufacturing costs increase. Food prices often rise. And inflation can return even when central banks believe they have brought it under control. This is why energy markets are being watched so closely. Recent geopolitical tensions have increased concerns about potential disruptions to global oil supplies. And one location has become particularly important: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway serves as one of the world's most critical energy choke points. A large share of global oil exports passes through it every day. Any disruption there would immediately attract the attention of energy markets. And markets tend to react long before actual shortages appear. Sometimes, fear alone is enough to move prices. The inflation problem. Over the last few years, inflation became one of the biggest economic challenges facing governments around the world. Prices rose rapidly. Consumers felt the pressure. Businesses struggled with higher costs. And central banks responded by raising interest rates. Higher interest rates helped cool demand. They slowed borrowing, reduced spending, and gradually brought inflation closer to target levels. But there is a problem. Inflation isn't always driven by consumer demand. Sometimes it comes from the supply side of the economy. And energy is one of the most powerful supply-side forces. When oil prices rise significantly, costs increase throughout the entire economic system. Companies often pass those costs on to consumers, and inflation begins to climb again. This creates a difficult situation for policymakers. If inflation rises while economic growth slows, governments and central banks face a dilemma: raise rates and risk slowing growth further, or support growth and risk allowing inflation to accelerate. Neither option is particularly attractive. The return of stagflation? Economists have a term for this type of situation: stagflation. It's one of the most feared economic scenarios. Stagflation occurs when economic growth slows while inflation remains elevated. In simple terms, the economy stops moving forward, but prices keep rising. For households, this can be especially painful. Paychecks don't stretch as far, living costs increase, and opportunities become harder to find. The last major stagflation crisis occurred during the 1970s, when energy shocks triggered inflation across much of the world. While today's situation is different, the comparison has begun appearing more frequently in economic discussions. No one is predicting a repeat of the 1970s. But policymakers are paying close attention to the risks. Because once inflation becomes entrenched, bringing it back under control can take years. The domino effect. Economic slowdowns rarely remain isolated. They spread. That's what makes them so dangerous. When consumers spend less, businesses generate less revenue. When businesses earn less revenue, expansion plans are delayed, hiring slows, investment falls, and confidence begins to weaken. That weakness then spreads through financial markets. Companies become more cautious. Investors become more defensive. Consumers postpone major purchases, and the cycle continues. This interconnected nature of the global economy means problems in one region can quickly affect another. A disruption in energy markets can influence transportation costs. Transportation costs affect manufacturing. Manufacturing affects employment. Employment affects consumer spending. Everything is connected. And that's why economists often worry less about individual events and more about how those events interact with one another. Which countries are most vulnerable? Not all economies face the same level of risk. Some countries are better positioned than others. Energy exporting nations can sometimes benefit from higher oil prices, but energy importing countries often face significant challenges. Many developing economies are particularly vulnerable. They often have higher debt burdens, less financial flexibility, and fewer resources available to absorb economic shocks. When borrowing costs rise and growth slows simultaneously, the pressure can become intense. Even larger economies face challenges. China is dealing with structural economic issues, including a struggling property sector and weaker domestic demand. Parts of Europe continue to face growth challenges, and many governments around the world are carrying much higher levels of debt than they did before the pandemic. This means the global economy is entering a period of uncertainty with fewer policy tools available than in previous crises. The AI wildcard. Despite these challenges, there is one area generating enormous optimism: artificial intelligence. Around the world, companies are investing hundreds of billions of dollars into AI infrastructure, software, automation, and advanced computing. Many economists believe AI could become one of the most important productivity drivers of the coming decade. If businesses can produce more with the same resources, economic growth could accelerate. Productivity gains have historically played a major role in improving living standards. The hope is that AI could unlock a new wave of innovation similar to the Internet revolution. But there is an important caveat. AI is not a short-term solution. Building infrastructure takes time. Integrating new technologies takes time. And realizing productivity gains often takes even longer. The economic risks facing the world today are immediate. The potential benefits of AI may take years to fully materialize. Still, many investors see AI as one of the strongest long-term growth stories available. And that optimism is helping offset some of the uncertainty elsewhere. What happens next? The next few months could prove extremely important. Energy markets will remain a key focus. Investors will watch inflation data closely. Central banks will continue evaluating interest rate decisions. And businesses will monitor global demand for signs of weakness or recovery. If energy prices stabilize and inflation continues to ease, the global economy could avoid a more severe slowdown. Growth would remain modest, but manageable. However, if geopolitical tensions escalate, energy supplies face disruptions, and inflation begins rising again, the situation could become much more complicated. The challenge is that many of these risks reinforce one another. Higher energy prices increase inflation. Higher inflation influences interest rates. Higher interest rates affect growth. And slower growth increases financial stress. This feedback loop is exactly what policymakers hope to avoid. Conclusion: the world economy isn't collapsing, but it is entering a period of greater uncertainty. The World Bank's warning isn't about a crisis that has already happened. It's about the risks that are building beneath the surface. Slower growth, higher energy costs, persistent inflation, rising debt, and increasing geopolitical tensions. Individually, each challenge is manageable. Together, they become much more difficult. The global economy has proven remarkably resilient over the past several years. It has survived a pandemic, inflation shocks, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical conflicts. But resilience does not eliminate risk. The months ahead will reveal whether today's challenges remain contained or evolve into something much larger. And that is why the latest warning from the World Bank matters. Not because it predicts disaster, but because it reminds us that the forces shaping the global economy are changing once again. This is Lightspan. illuminating the forces shaping our world.